Well, hey there, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back again. Well, but you guys probably know what this machine is. This is that HP P6000 series quad-core system that I got at the garage sale last week. And don't worry, it is running just fine. This video is going to be about a few upgrades I want to do to it. As it sits right now, this has a AMD Phenom 2. It's an X2 840T quad-core processor with 8 gigs of memory, a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and of course the dual-layer DVD burner with light scribe. Pretty much the same as it was when I showed you last time. But I have a few upgrades I want to put in, and I just got them ready today, so I figured let's go ahead and make a video. The first thing I want to put in is this. This is a 500 gigabyte Western Digital green drive. This came out of an old computer that I got from a client. I have tested the hard drive. I know that it is good. And I wanted to get a little bit more storage space in here because this originally had a 1 terabyte hard drive. So what it'll have now is basically two 500 gigabyte drives. The main drive in this being a Seagate Barracuda 7200 RPM, one of those slimline drives that half of you guys seem to like and half of you guys don't, but you know what? I've had very good luck with them in the past. And if there is a slot in here, I don't remember that there is, I want to put in this 2-port Firewire card. Actually, it's 2 external ports, which are looking a little sad. They did get a little bit rusted over the years. Somebody obviously had this in a computer that was stored in a garage or a shed somewhere. But they do work fine. I've thoroughly cleaned the actual ports, and everything works fine. And it does have 1 port on the card internally, which I won't be using because this does not support that. So let's go ahead and get started upgrading this system. Taking one of these apart is fairly easy. Just got to remember which side it's on. The screw is right here. Usually it's a thumb screw, but it was missing when I got the system, so I just put in a regular hard drive screw. Works just as well. Opening this up, you can see this is where our first focus is going to be, this hard drive right here. And as I am looking, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to put that Firewire card in there. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'm going to try to zoom in for you. There are no actual PCI slots available. Everything up here is just an X1 Express X1 slot. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to retire this Firewire card. But that's okay, because the other system I have, the other HP Phenom triple core, does have one in it. So I can still use these cameras if I'd like to. So the focus for this is going to be adding that second hard drive. So to take a hard drive out of one of these, you actually have to take these 2 screws here. There's one right here. And then one right there. And oddly enough, these 2 were also missing when I got this computer. But they're just hard drive screws. I have a million of those lying around. The next thing you have to do is, I don't know if the camera will pick up, there's a little button here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you guys can see. It's going to be a little tricky. There's a little button right here on the bottom. You just push that and pull the cage upwards. And I do need 2 hands to do that. And then the cage slides right out. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the stuff I need to do this, and we'll be right back. Alright, so the 2 items I'm going to need to upgrade the hard drive, at least in this computer, are a IDE to SATA power converter cable. And then, of course, just a regular SATA cable. This just happens to be an orange one. It'll work just fine. Now, the reason I need this converter is the particular power supply I have in here is modular. And when I got it, because I got it used, it's that Rocketfish one, by the way, I didn't get all of the modular connections. So even though I do have a SATA port here, The other end of this is just an IDE port. So what I'm going to have to do is just plug this in. You just plug it in like that. And I have an extra SATA port now. Now putting the hard drive in here is fairly easy. Go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit here. There we go. All you're going to do, make sure your hard drive is facing the right way. In this case, mine is facing this way. Go ahead and put the hard drive in the cage, making sure the screws line up, of course. Then we'll go ahead and screw it in. You got 2 screws on this side and 2 on the other, so a total of 4 screws go into this particular cage, and that's average for most hard drives. Although some of the newer computers, especially the E-Machines ones, will only use 2 screws. They'll have 1 on each side. They do that just to cheap out, but that's the way everything seems to be going these days. Alright, I got the 4 screws in. And I also put in the secondary SATA cable, so it's time to go ahead and put all this back together. Now you want to take it easy when you're putting this back together, and the rule of thumb is to hook everything up before you actually put the cage all the way back in. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the first SATA data cable. Okay. Now go ahead and put in the SATA power cable for the first hard drive. They don't give you a lot of space to work, so you may need to take your time doing this. These SATA cables connectors can break very easily if you're not careful. Now we have the new SATA data cable, which is going to go this way. And then of course we have the new SATA power cable. And you have everything hooked up now. Now to put this in, you want to be careful. You need to put it along the bottom. You got to feel for the 2 little tabs that are on the bottom of this cage here. And once that's done, you're going to go ahead and lightly push down. And you'll know when it's in because it'll slide in just like that. And the thing you really need to concern yourself with is making sure these 2 screw holes here align perfectly. That's how you know that the cage is in properly. And of course, it wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and wiggle it just to make sure that one tab didn't go in and the other one didn't. So that is it. I'm going to put the 2 screws back in and we'll go ahead and try this computer. One other thing to note about these cases, the side panel on these is very hard to get on, so I suggest making sure if you have this model that you put it on its side, because then it's easier to line the tabs. Just put a little bit of even pressure on the front with your palm of your hand and then push with the back and the case will go ahead and slide right on. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Smoke test. Make sure I'm on the right input here. Input 3. Alright, Windows is starting. And we'll go ahead and see if it recognizes the new hard drive. Alright, and as you can see, the computer successfully found this hard drive. Looks like it marked it as the E drive. Yep, that's it right there. Alright, so the very last thing for me to do with this install is to format it, and I can start using the second 500 gig hard drive, so I would call this a success. Please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, have a blessed day, everybody.